What is up, everybody? It's your boy Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns, and today we will be reviewing John Wick Chapter 4. That's right, folks. John Wick Chapter 4, and oh boy, what a movie. The action was insane, the drama was insane. Keanu Reeves did say it was his most physically demanding role to date, and I see why after the movie. But yeah, John Wick 4, it met my expectations for sure. I did have high ones. So yeah, let's dive right in. So we start off with a jump scare. At least it scared me. We see a fist just constantly punching a pole. And then we see Lawrence Fishburne, aka King, walking in. Now, you see this fist punching the wall like 10 times, maybe a little more. And you just hear King go, "John M.F.'n. Wick, the King is back." And he just goes, "Are you ready?" And then we see Keanu Reeves for the first time, and he goes, "Yeah." Crazy. Then we go to the desert, and John Wick is chasing these dudes down on a horse. This was a wild scene, but he gets all of them, and then he meets with the King. He just wants his ring back. The King says the ring is gone. John just goes, "Okay." Shoots the King right there. King's dead. John Wick rides off. Yeah, that's about it for that scene. Then we go to the hotel and we see Sharon, the hotel concierge from the first 3 movies. R.I.P. Lance Reddick. At the time of recording, he just passed away last week. He did film this in full, but yeah, R.I.P. my man. He meets a guest and the guest says the hotel is condemned. It's going to blow in 1 hour. So then we meet Bill Skarsgård, aka Marquis, aka Pennywise the Clown from It. He's the main bad guy in this movie. The hotel blows up, of course, and they say it's not about John Wick, and then they shoot Sharon. Yep, Sharon says it's been an honor, but Sharon is dead. And Winston, the hotel owner, says it should have been me. And Marquis says yes, it should have been. Then we meet Kane, a blind, retired, almost like John Wick. He shows a card that reads Wick. Kane says he will work to save John, and then we see a hitman who is trying to take out John Wick, aka the Tracker, for the first time. Then we see Shimazu at the hotel talking to John Wick. They've known each other a long time, and they both respect each other and like each other. Then we see 4 sharply dressed men enter the hotel lobby, saying they need to speak to the manager. This is the Table, the main bad guys of the movie, along with Marquis. They say they have to check with the hotel because they know he's working with Wick. Shimazu denies it and asks them to turn in their firearms, and then they can search. Shimazu turns off the lights and has people ready to fire. A fight breaks out between the hotel staff and the Table. Many deaths. Now that's a running theme for this movie. The Table, unfortunately, has an army, and they take over. John and Akira beat up a lot of the army. Gunshots, stab swords. We'll get into that. Kane takes out a lot of the staff very easily. Like, for a blind man, that's so impressive. Akira is very good in this movie. She plays a major role later. A lot of easily missed gunshots, because of course, they've missed John Wick so many times. And there was a lot of gunshots to the head, like a lot. I'll have a body count for you guys at the end of the movie, so stay tuned. We have a standoff between Kane and Wick. They gave Kane Wick's cane, that tongue twister. But John and Kane both fight, and then they both have a mutual agreement, like, alright, let's take a breather, we're good. And then Wick slowly realizes that Kane is blind. Kane thinks he killed John Wick, but come on. And then we see the bounty hunter come in, aka the Tracker. He's trying to take out Wick with his dog by his side. Dog plays a major role too. Wick's bounty is increased to 20 million. And then the Tracker dog murders one of the Table. He murders a lot of people, the dog. The Tracker says the bounty isn't enough to kill John Wick. Yet. So he kind of lets John Wick go for now. Then we see Kane and Shimazu have a standoff. Kane doesn't want to hurt him. That's a major role. Kane does not want to hurt him or do anything. Kane stabs him, and then he's like, alright, we're done. You'll walk away from this. But then Shimazu goes after Kane again, and Kane kills him. And then Akira goes to kill Kane, but he says, no, don't do it. We'll come back to that. And then we see John and Akira on the same subway just getting healthy. Akira wants John to kill Kane or she will. We'll come back to that. Then we see King and Winston. They talk about plans. And then we see Marquis at a horse stable. This guy is all over the map. He's fancy, but he's a ruthless killer. Marquis and the tracker have a chat. Marquis asks if the tracker located John. The tracker won't say, but the tracker wants $25 million and a 401k donation. They negotiate. Marquis stabs the tracker in the hand. He wants to see if he's committed to the cause. He goes, if you go, you weren't committed, but if you try and get out of this, you are committed. The tracker pulls the knife out. Marquis shakes his bloody hand and says, happy hunting, and then he wipes off the blood and
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday.
Then we see Wick and Winston at Sharon's grave. Wick says he can't take the table. Winston says you better get it in gear or you better pick a plot. Then Wick gets shot, because he gets shot plenty of times. He's about to be hung, and then we meet Katea. John tries to offer the help. Katea lets him go only because he will murder the person that murdered her father. But she sends Claus with him, who looks oddly enough like Santa Claus. Santa came early this year, folks. Then we see Kane show up, and then we see John show up to murder the big bartender guy. Kane expected he would show up. It seems everybody wants to kill John Wick. The tracker's there. Claus is there. Kane's there. Yeah, it's just crazy. Then the main guy of the bar gets beat up. John beats him up while everybody's dancing, but the bar guy beats him up pretty bad at first. And then Wick finally gets the drop on him, beats him up, kills him, takes one of his gold teeth out. Then the tracker tries to go after Wick, and Kane holds a sword up to him saying, he's mine. Then we go back, and Wick and Katea brand themselves. He's A-okay in her eyes now. Then Wick challenges Marquis to a duel. Winston says when Wick wins, he will have his hotel rebuilt on the table's dime. The table agrees. And then Wick and Marquis finally come face to face. Wick wants out of the table for good if he wins. John lights a candle. King and Winston give John a new suit in the train. Now, this is where we get very Warriors-esque. The 1979 movie. We see somebody got on the radio. It even sounds like the woman. It's crazy.
This hit Mr. Wick.
So he's underground, then he comes up. All the people are trying to kill him because they want that bounty. Like I said, a nice nod to the Warriors with the announcing and him going through the streets trying to get to the duel. And boy, do a lot of people die. And like I said before, this is very Warriors-esque. He's going through the streets. He's got to make it back home to the place where he's going. And everybody's trying to kill him. The music, the radio announcer, it's really cool. But then the tracker calls Marquis and says, you can end this. Just pay up, pretty much. The tracker wants $35 million. And Marquis says, all right, we have it under control. The tracker says, okay. Marquis throws his phone in anger. Then he gets another one. He calls back. The tracker goes, $40 million. And Marquis goes, done. So the bounty is out on John Wick for $40 million. The tracker and Wick fight for a little. The table was about to kill the tracker's dog while they were fighting until John Wick killed the main guy of the table, not Marquis, and saved the tracker's dog. That comes into play in a little bit. And then we have a hilarious fight scene. John Wick goes through everybody to get to the top of the stairs, and then he meets the main bad guy from the table, not Marquis. I don't know how he survived, but he beats up John Wick pretty well, sends John Wick down every flight of stairs. All 5 of them, he went down every one. I was laughing so hard in the movie. Everybody in my theater was. It was so stupid, but so funny. But yeah, Kane meets him at the bottom. Wick makes his way back to the top. Kane and Wick kill the remaining guys on the steps. And then the tracker has a chance to take out John Wick. But then he sees the guy who threatened to shoot his dog, and he shoots him instead. He owed John Wick one, and he got him back. He saved him. So yeah, I knew that was going to come into play, but still pretty cool. And then to add insult to, not injury, but death, the tracker guy's dog just pees on him. Then John shows up to the duel as the sun rises. They didn't think he'd make it. Wick and Kane take 30 paces. Marquis tells Kane to remember his daughter. Kane curses him out. They don't like Marquis. They both fire, hitting each other, but nobody dies. So they come to 20 paces. They both hit each other again. Nobody dies. So then they come to 10 paces. Kane shoots. Wick doesn't. Wick is down for the count, it looks like. And then Marquis goes, finally, I can kill him. And then Winston goes, you arrogant. He didn't shoot. And then Marquis realizes John Wick shoots him right in the head. Game over for Marquis. Marquis was a great villain, I will say, but he had to get his in the end. So it's official. Wick is done with the table. Kane's daughter will be saved. And yeah, that's almost the end of the movie. Then we see a flashback to John kissing Helen, his wife. John's just sitting on the steps, and then he just falls over. And then we go to his tombstone. He is buried next to Helen. On it, it says loving husband, just like he wanted. And we see Winston and King ask where he went in the afterlife. Winston and King walk away. End of movie. Now we go to the post-credit. We see Kane about to show up to see his daughter with flowers. We see a hooded figure walking towards him. And at first I even was like, what can this be? And then it's Akira. He pulls out a knife. Fade to black. End of movie, officially. John Wick 5? Question mark? Without John Wick? Maybe he's still alive? I don't know. We shall see. Let's get into the death toll. I knew it was high, but I looked it up, and it was over my expectations. 439 people died in this movie. I was amazed when I saw that number. I thought it was like 300, and even 300 is a lot, but 439? My goodness. And the John Wick franchise has not missed yet. It really hasn't. All 4 movies are great. I can't even rank them. Maybe that will be a future video, but I can't rank them just yet. They're all so good. This was a 9 out of 10 for me. I so enjoyed it. It was at least comedic when it needed to be, but the action, there's no dialogue. There's not much. It's a John Wick movie. They're not meant for dialogue, but man, 9 out of 10. Enjoyed it. This might be my best movie of the year so far. I know it's only March, but it's got a tall hill to climb. That is my review for John Wick Chapter 4. I knew it was going to be crazy going in, and I'm glad it was. And like I said, this is probably my favorite movie of the year so far. It might stay number 1 for all I know. But yeah. But make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you also hit that like button. Of course, I hope Ryan keeps that in. Thank you, Ryan, for editing this. I really hope he keeps that in. That's funny. But until next time, I'm Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns, and I'll see you in the next one. Later!